Hey, what's going on? I missed y'all. I feel like I haven't talked to y'all in forever. But that's alright. Today I want to cut straight to the chase. Normally we have this long production and stuff that's going on. Today we don't have that. We're going to hit straight to the point. What we're going to talk about today, we're talking about cutting and trimming your locks. Today we left the length of the hair, but we kind of took away from the weight by doing some type of low layer and everything, because she was like, baby, do not cut my goddamn hair, but I want my ends trimmed and I wanted to have a little more shape to it. So I had to walk on pins and needles to get this girl what she wanted, but it did not matter. I took that girl and laid her down like Michael Jackson in a pressing cone. I ain't have time to be sitting around playing with her so she can come back and say, this is not what I wanted. It's this going on over here. It's this going on over there. So I took the time out to make sure that I cut it right and I recorded it so that you could see it. So sit back and get you some popcorn, some Butterfingers, some rice, some water, some green beans, some eggs, some steaks, some chitlins, and some applesauce. And I want you to watch this video. And I really want you to understand what's going on. So we didn't do all that other playing around. We got straight to it. Hello? All right, and this is a lock demonstration. I want you guys to really pay attention. This is my technique. Again, I emphasize this is my technique on how I trim the ends of my locks. Take a little weight off, but leave the length. So today we're doing low layers on locks, and that's just nipping a little bit off the ends. And I want to go through this process from root to finish. Everything I do, starting with like I'm doing here, and this is defining my base. So what I do is I take out a small section in the bottom of the head, where the pretty much where you see majority of your length. You pull from the nape area straight down to the middle of the back or frontwards, whichever works best for you, so you can see where the length is. So we defined where we're going to start, and I broke it down, and I pretty much put everything else out of my way. I do not want to mistake and cut anything else. So going into my base, I get a desired layer. I get a desired length for what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. She told me pretty much that she just wanted to nip off just a bit. So that's exactly what we're doing. Just a bit. This is kind of like a trim, a dust at the same time. Now, once I went in and I defined where my base was going to be, I'm going to section off another piece. This piece is going to pretty much allow me to start into my layers. This is my second layer to my lowest layer. Okay, so you see how I'm cutting again there, not chopping off too much, just off into the base that I have created. I am not trying to have a circus cut or anything else out of the norm, just into the base that I have created. And because she wants low layers, I am cutting at different elevations to make sure that I have that choppy layered look, that natural look that I like. One factor I need y'all to pay attention to when y'all do y'all trimming and cutting and all of that good old stuff that y'all be doing. Proofread your work. Go back and see what you're doing. See what you're offering. See what you've done. If the shit don't make sense, hey, that means it's time to put your tennis shoes on and walk that good old Maya Angelou mile one more time, because boo, it's time for you to rise. You have fallen short of the glory. So turn right back on around, get them scissors, and get to snipping again, and do this the right way. If you need some assistance, ask for some. Don't just sit there and get that girl a Susan G. Coleman cut and have her ball. That ain't gonna work. So proofread what you're working with, look at what you're doing, and make sure that you're executing the right cut that this person wants. You can leave length and take away weight, or you can take away length and leave some weight. It's up to the client and what they want, but there's so many different things you can do by elevating the locks in many different ways. Okay? So go back and do what you did not do in the 6th grade when you had a test. Proofread your work. Go see what's going on and make sure that what you just did makes sense. Still working through the head in the same pattern, the same way. I'm going through, still bringing out those layers, layer by layer, using each part of the head to give me a different dynamic and a different placement. So at this point, I've reached the middle to the crown of her head, and I'm still giving that same cut based off the base that I have created. At the same time, making sure that my work is even and is congruent and it makes sense. You can look at your cut and see where it's going and what it's coming out to be like by just paying attention to the little things. Move it around, play with it, comb it, run your fingers through it, and you will be able to see what you missed if you missed anything. So through your whole entire cut, please proofread your work and see what you're doing. Because it's possible that that little human eye could miss something. That's why some of us got 4 eyes, bifocal eyes, 6 eyes, tri-eyes. Some of us don't have no eyes. You got to feel for stuff. So with you having that type of imperfection on the eyesight level, you make sure that what you're offering these people is exactly what they're asking for and what they want. For my last and final layer, I'm reaching all the way from the front, pulling a big piece of the side into this layer as well so that I can be able to have a more elongated base at this point so I really can see what's going on, so I really can see what needs to be cut. And I go ahead and extend to the angles that I want to use that are going to give me exactly that choppy, irregular, layered look where it's a little more natural. It doesn't look like we're walking on the stairs to heaven to see Jesus. This is a haircut, and I pretty much want to leave it at that. We're leaving the length. We're just taking a little piece off of the weight, which we didn't take that much off, but honey, you know how some of y'all are when it comes to dreadlocking. You want the longest of longest, but don't want to cut the unhealthy. You got to alleviate some of that unhealthy just so that you can keep the healthiness going forward. I mean, that's with any aspect of life. So cut that mess off and put that stuff on the floor, child. If you don't need it, you don't need it. We'll grow it back. That's what we do around here. We grow hair. Ain't nobody bald headed. Jesus. So keep going through the hair, paying attention, making sure you do a decent trim, and make sure that it just flows. That's the only thing you want to worry about at this point is that your haircut is going to flow and it is going to make sense. If you have gaping holes in what you've done, you have not done this cut correctly. You may be a little more inexperienced than what's needed, and you need to refer that to someone that can do a decent cut because once that's cut, that's gone. You cannot take that style down. You cannot repair that or whatever. That is on the floor and it cannot be rejuvenated. When you're doing your cut, please make sure that your client's shoulders, back are erect. They cannot be sitting there looking like the hunchback of Notre Dame. This is not going to cut it. So by the time you finish this and they ask for a bra strap, you lift up, your cut is messed up. You got to start all the way over from the foundation all the way up because if you just cut the bottom, you may have a disconnection into what you've just created here. So what I do is I make my clients stand up. I don't care if your ankle's broke, you got diabetes, something hurting, or whatever. You only gonna be standing there for 5 seconds. So come on, stand here with this long ass hair and let me go cut and do what I have to do. Because if you don't, that's gonna be an issue going forward. I can say, oh, do you like the style? You be like, oh, it's okay, because you know it's going to come down. You can't say, oh, do you like the cut? It's okay. No, it's not. You used to have a ponytail. Now you just got a pona. That's one of them ponytails that barely make it to the top of your head, and you got 3 scrunchies on it trying to hold it together, plus bobby pins all the way around. No, boo. If you got to have that much assistance from veterans' aids just to have a ponytail in your head, then you have a problem. So we're going to cut it to the right length. We're going to cut it to your head. We're going to cut it to your style and your lifestyle, and we're going to make sure that the next time you call me, the first word out your mouth is, bitch, what did you... You're going to call me and say, hey, this looks good. I'm happy. It's not too heavy. I feel free already. You did Martin Luther King me, boo. So now I have a dream that my hair is going to keep on doing what I needed to do. And I'm going to say, amen, hallelujah. The last thing I do of my cut, the very last thing, the same thing I do during the entire cut is I proofread like no other. I do every aspect of scrunching, pulling, combing, everything, just running my hands through in so many different ways to make sure that this cut is exactly what I need it to be, and it's going to prove itself for whatever it's going to be. If there's a piece you missed, it will